So let's start with the introduction of MERN stack, and then we'll start designing our backend using Node.js, Express, with the help of database SQLite and MongoDB both. So let's get started. So MERN stack means a group of technologies. So under this group of technologies, we have a MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. So MERN stack means a group of technologies we use to build a complete full stack application. Okay. So yeah. So full stack application means what? Any application which has the front end part, the back end part, and the database part ready, we call it as a full stack application. Okay, so if you have designed one application where you design front end also, back end also, database also, then we call that application as a full stack application. And if you know how to design this front end part, how to design this back end part, how to design database part, if you know all these three layers, how to design, how to write the code for them, then you are full stack developer. If you know only front end part, you will be front end developer. Like that, if you know only back end developer. Same for database developer. Correct? So now we are going to design the front end by using React.js. We will be designing the back end from this group of technologies only. Means by using Express and Node.js, and we will be designing the database by using MongoDB. So if you are using these group of technologies to build your full stack application, means for front end React, for back end Node and Express, and for database MongoDB, if you have used, then that's what we call it as a MERN stack. You have used MERN group of technology to build your full stack application. So if you learn React.js for front end, if you learn Node and Express for back end, if you learn MongoDB for database, and if you build the application, you are MERN stack developer. Okay. So first, I'm going to target the backend part. First, we are going to cover the backend. Then we will learn the complete React.js from the scratch. Okay. So now let's understand as a developer how much easy it is for us to learn MERN stack. Okay. It is easy, guys. Why? Because for React.js, you have to learn JavaScript. If you know JavaScript, you can start learning React.js. In the similar way, if you want to become a Node.js developer, you should know the JavaScript. If you know JavaScript, you are Node.js developer. In the similar way, to work with the MongoDB also, you should have the knowledge of JavaScript. Means actually MongoDB stores the data in JSON. Okay, so that's why we can say MongoDB also uses the JSON objects to store the data. Okay, so the base language for React.js, JavaScript, Node and Express, JavaScript, MongoDB, JavaScript. So under this MERN stack, by using MERN stack, if you are building the web application, the base language for the entire MERN stack is JavaScript only. Okay, so that's why as a developer, it will be easy for us to learn the MERN fast, and we can easily start building the full stack applications as well. Okay, so yeah, this is the one of the feature of your MERN stack, a MERN group of technologies. Okay, if you are using some other group of technologies, for example, for backend, if you are using Java and Spring, fine. For database, if you are using Oracle, then you have to learn Oracle, means SQL separately. You have to learn Java separately. For front end, if you are using React.js, JavaScript separately. So in that stack, you have to learn Java, Spring, SQL, JavaScript, React.js. So multiple technologies you have to learn there to build the full stack application. But if you are using MERN stack to build full stack application, you have to learn only one language. Which one it is? Exactly correct. JavaScript. So if you use JavaScript, you can easily work with the React.js also, Node and Express for backend also, and MongoDB for database. Okay. So first I'm going to start with the backend part. As I have told, first we will learn how to write the code in Node.js. What is Node.js? We will understand. Then we will work with the database as well. So once our backend is ready end to end, then we will move towards the front end part. Okay, so first we are going to cover the back end part. So let's start. So now we need to understand what is the meaning of this Node.js. Is it a language or is it a framework library, what exactly this Node.js is, that you need to understand. In upcoming sessions, we will cover separately React.js. Do remember this, okay? So now I'm starting with the backend, Node, Express and MongoDB, okay? So out of all these three, let's understand what is Node.js. So now you might have written the HTML code like this before. Have you written? 101% you might have written. You might have written the JavaScript code also like this, internal JavaScript inside HTML. At the end of browser body, we can use the script tag. Inside that, we can write the JavaScript code. Correct? Okay. So now, who executes, who renders this HTML code? Which software renders that HTML code? If you are thinking about browser, that's absolutely correct. Your browser renders the complete HTML document. Only and only your browser. Okay. So now, for example, we can consider Chrome browser. Chrome browser will execute our entire HTML code. Browser understand only and only language of tags. Okay. So first you can check, I have used a header tag. So browser will understand in the browser head, we have to display the content, we have to display this title. Okay. So as soon as browser will encounter script tag, what I have said, browser understand only and only language of tags. So as soon as browser encounters script tag, browser will not execute JavaScript code. Never. Inside this browser, we have something called as V8 engine. So that V8 engine executes JavaScript code. But when? So browser will render one by one each tag. As soon as browser will encounter script tag, browser will invoke this V8 engine. Means browser will tell to the V8 engine, hey V8 engine, now it's your time to execute the code. Because script tag I have encountered means user has written JavaScript code. So this V8 engine is actually executing your JavaScript code. Where? At front end layer, at client side. Okay. So do remember, lock this in your mind. JavaScript code at client side, at front end part, who executes? Your V8 engine, which is present inside browser, it executes. Do you have Chrome browser? If yes, inside Chrome browser already V8 engine is present. Okay. So now yes, at front end side, V8 engine is executing JavaScript code. But now let's say I want to use the JavaScript here at the backend layer. I want to use JavaScript here at the backend layer. Let me move my video somewhere here. Okay. Or here I'll just skip. Okay. So at backend layer, I want to write the code in JavaScript. At front end, you know how to write the JavaScript code. You know the event listener, the different functions you might have created at front end part. But if you want to build a backend of application in JavaScript, okay, that I am going to teach you in this entire session. Okay, how to write the backend code in JavaScript. But now the question is, who will execute that code at the backend? At front end, if I write the JavaScript, V8 engine, which is present inside the browser, will execute. But at backend, if I write the JavaScript code, if I learn how to write the backend code in JavaScript, I will write it. But who will execute at backend? So for that purpose, we will download and install something called as Node.js into our system. Okay, Node.js. So Node.js is not a language or framework. Node.js is just one environment inside which we execute the JavaScript code. In simplest way, we can say, not exactly, but we can say, downloading and installing Node.js in your system means you are taking V8 engine in your system. Actually, V8 engine is present inside browser. Outside browser, if you want to execute JavaScript code, how we will execute? So for that purpose, we will download and install Node.js into our system. Once we get the Node.js, V8 engine automatically will come, like that we can say. And in this Node.js environment, we execute the JavaScript code. That's all, guys. So if someone will ask you, what is Node.js? So Node.js is an environment, runtime environment, where we execute our JavaScript code outside the browser. That's what we call it as a Node.js. So if someone is asking you, have you learned Node.js? So actually they are asking you, can you write the JavaScript code at backend side? So if someone is asking you, do you know the Node.js? Means they are asking you, can you write the JavaScript code at backend side? They are not asking you Node.js as a language. There is no language called as Node.js. Node.js is an environment in which we execute our JavaScript code outside the browser. Okay. So do remember, at client side, who is executing JavaScript code? Browser. And at backend side, who is executing JavaScript code? Exactly. Node.js environment will help you to execute the JavaScript code. Many things are present in this Node.js. We'll discuss one by one. Okay. So I hope I'm clear with what is a Node.js. What is Express? Soon we will discuss about it. Okay. So now what we are going to do is, we will create one request and we will create our own server which will handle that request. Now, what is the meaning of this? See, whenever we are sending the HTTP request, we send those HTTP requests via browser. Correct? Browser is our web client, and request will be sent to the server. I hope you have a basic knowledge of client server architecture. If you don't have the knowledge of client and server architecture, pause the video, immediately Google it, or you can ask to the ChatGPT, learn what is client server architecture, and again continue this video. Okay. So by using the client, I am going to send one HTTP request. Most of the times you might have sent the different requests to the Amazon server or to the YouTube server. Whenever you are writing amazon.com, you have sent one request by using your web client software, means your browser, and that request will go to the Amazon server. Correct? If you write facebook.com, where the request will go? To the Facebook server. In the similar way, if you write ola.com, where the request will go? To the Ola ka server. Correct, right? So now what we are going to do, of course, request we will send via browser only. That browser, we call it as a web client, or you can call it as a HTTP client also. Okay. So in the address bar, we will enter the address like this, URL like this, HTTP. These are the set of protocols, hypertext transfer protocols. Okay. Now I have written here localhost colon 3000. The meaning is, send the request to the server which is running in localhost. Localhost means your own system only. At port number 3000. That server is running on port number 3000. And the path is /hello/. Where I am sending the request? To the server which is running in my localhost in my same system at port number 3000. Okay, usually we send the request http:/amazon.com. Request will go to Amazon server. http:/facebook.com. Request will go to Facebook server. But you tell me where I am sending this request, to the Amazon server, Facebook server, where I am sending. So here my server is localhost. Means in the same system one server is present. And that server is running at port number 3000. Do remember this. So now we will send the request. But do we have really the server in our system running on port number 3000? No, we don't have it. We have not created it yet. So now what we are going to do? We are going to create our own server which will handle this HTTP GET type request. Each request, they have their own types. Soon we will discuss about it. We will explore them. But do remember, each request, whatever you are sending via browser, the type of that request will always be GET. Now, what is GET? We'll understand it. Just have patience. Okay. So now we are sending one HTTP GET type request, but we don't have server. which will handle this request. So let's learn how to create the server in Node.js. Okay. So now you need the VS Code in your system. Okay. So I have already opened the VS Code. Here you will be having the options. Okay. Here 3 dots you can see. We'll go over here. So later we have a terminal, run, go, help, all these options. So first I want to open a new folder in my VS Code. So I will click on open folder. Okay. So now we have to select the destination. I'll select the desktop. Okay. We'll click on new folder. We'll give the folder name as Node.js Backend. This is my folder name. You can give any other folder name as per your choice. Okay. Now I'm going to open this folder in my VS Code. Okay, I hope it is visible to you. GitHub Copilot I don't want as of now, so I'll just close all these things. Yeah, this welcome window also I'll close. Okay. So now we are going to create our first ever server. Okay. So for you guys, I already have created some notes. I would like to show you here. Yeah. So we'll go as per this notes only. So in this notes, I have given what is Node.js. Now this is the setup requirements you need before you start creating your own server. You should have a Node.js in your system, VS Code in your system, and Postman. If you don't have, kindly install it. Okay. To install the Node.js, just go to the browser and search for Node.js, download like this. You will be having this official website. Go over here. If you are a Windows user, download this Windows installer.msi. Once completely you will download, then click next and install it. Okay. So this is the Node.js you have to install. Once you're done with this, Postman you have to install. Just search Postman. So you will get this website. Okay. And here you can sign up and you can create your account. Okay. Like this, we can send the request demo they have given. Okay. So yeah. So we'll write it here. Postman download. See, get started for free. Yeah. So Windows 64-bit like this you can download also. So if you're not understanding, you can watch a short YouTube video and number of videos you can find, or in the description, I'll give the link. From there also, you can download the Postman. Okay. I have given the steps over there. You can go through it. So like that, please download the Postman, sign up with the Postman, and download and install the Node.js in your system. Now, if you want to check whether Node.js is present in your system or not, go to the VS Code, take a terminal like this. Okay. Now, yeah, this is your terminal. So now here we will write node. Just a minute. So this is not a correct command. Give me a minute. Write node-v. Okay, hit enter. So if it is showing the version properly, you have installed Node successfully in your system. Even after downloading and installing Node successfully in the system, if you are getting the errors like Node is not recognized as an internal or external storage, or some script related issues you are getting, in the description I have given one link to solve the errors. Okay, Node.js related errors. Please go through that video, fix your error and continue from here. Okay. Don't lose the hopes as soon as you get the error. Okay. Please have some patience. Later we will check for npm-v also. Here also if you are getting error, like for Node you got the version, but for npm if you are getting the error, the solution I already have given in that video. Okay. You have to just execute these commands if you are getting error with respect to the npm. Okay. Those commands I have given in your notes as well. You have to run this in your PowerShell. Okay. So the error will be resolved. So now next we are going to create our first ever Node.js project. So let's create. So as you can see, one empty folder we have created. Now I want to create one server in my system, web server, correct? So that the HTTP incoming request we will handle. We are going to build our own server. Request will be sent via your browser only. Okay, so client is already there. We need a server. So let's create our server, guys. So I will write it here npm init -y. -y means yes to all. For example, if I mention only npm init and if I hit enter, let's see what will happen. So it is asking me the package name. Okay. I don't want to enter any package name, project name, all those things. So I'll just use Control C. I'll clear the terminal. Control C to break the control. Okay. Now I will write npm init -y. Yes to all. You only decide the package name, project name, whatever you want. I'll hit enter. So it will not ask you what package name you want, what project name, all those things. It will decide and it will create one Node.js project for you and it will give it to you. Okay. So clear the terminal immediately. Now you can see as soon as you create the Node.js project, you got one package.json file over here. Correct, right? So this package.json will be having the metadata about your project. Okay, the complete data about your project. You can see name is Node.js backend. As per the folder name, actually this name will be decided. Okay. Okay. So we'll discuss about this package.json soon. Okay. I'll close this package.json. What is the meaning of that? All those key value pairs in package.json? We'll discuss about it. So now next what we will do, we'll create one new file in this Node.js backend. I'll give the file name index.js file. Okay. Index.js file. Okay. So now inside this, we will write the code to create our own server. Okay. So if you want to create your server just by using pure Node.js code. So this code you have to write. See, creating a server using pure Node.js. Okay. So HTTP, this we have to import. Okay. And this is the variable referencing towards this package which we have imported. Okay. So let's import it. You have to learn little bit the syntax of this importing. Okay. Whenever you want to import any package, we have to make use of require method in CommonJS. Okay. So I have used require method. We are using CommonJS, not ModernJS. So if you don't know what is CommonJS, ModernJS, do let me know in the comment. I'll explain that to you. So now const, I will give one variable name like HTTP. This is my variable name. You can declare any variable name. So require from HTTP. Like this, I have imported one module, which is nothing but HTTP. Okay. Again, I will repeat. We have imported one module HTTP and which variable is referencing towards it? HTTP. Do remember this. This is a simple import statement. That's all. Okay. Now on the next line, once we imported that module, now we have to create one server by using create server method. Okay. So let's write the code. Then we will have a discussion on this code. Okay. So now we'll go back to our VS Code. Okay. We'll declare one variable over here. Let's say my variable name is server. You can give any variable name. So now we will write HTTP dot create server. So inside this HTTP module, we have this create server method. Have you imported HTTP module? Yes, here we imported. How to import? Using require method. Okay. First time if you are typing this code, you will get confused. But we will import multiple package as per the requirement and then you will be comfortable with this. Okay. Okay. So understood. Now this is your create server method. Now this create server method will accept one function. Inside this function, we will handle our HTTP request. We will check what is the request URL, what is the request method. Okay. And accordingly, we will send the response. So let's continue our code. Now inside this create server, we will pass one arrow function. And inside this arrow function, I will write if. First, we will define the two parameter request and response. Okay. If request dot, let's say method is equal to get, I'll just write get, and this is and percent operator and request dot URL is equal to, let me check what URL we have used here. Okay, hello URL we have used over here. So here I'll just write, just a minute. Okay, I made a mistake in syntax. Okay. If the URL is equal to slash hello slash, then what to do? Okay. Just a minute. Okay. So if the request dot method is get and the request dot URL is slash hello slash, then I will write response dot end. End is a method. As a response, you send hello from Node.js. Something like this message we will return. That's all. So now this is one API we have created. What is API? We'll have a discussion. If the type of request is get, if the URL is a slash hello slash, what message it will return? Hello from Node.js. Okay. So now we have to start the server. Server we have not started. Okay. So we will write it here. Server dot listen method. Okay. And the server should start at port number 3000. As soon as server started, I want to send one message in the console. And here I'll just write server running at port just a minute at port 3000. Okay, like this we will mention server is running at port 3000. Okay, like this we can start the server. So now let's start our server and we will send the request and we will see the response. If you are not understanding from this code, please have a patience, type it. Once we execute, you will get the crystal clarity about the concept. So now to start the server, we will be writing here node, file name is index.js. Execute this JavaScript code. So now browser is not required to execute this JavaScript code. We are asking for node environment, execute this JavaScript code which is present in index.js file. We'll hit enter now. So you can see the message we got here. Server is running at port number 3000. So server is running. Server is sitting in your own system at port number 3000. So now if you send some request to your server, server will listen to your request. Really server will listen? Let's test it, everyone. So we'll go to the browser. Of course, browser will send the request. Now here you can see www.postman.com. So you are sending this request via browser to Postman server. So now what we will do, we will write it here. HTTP will be as it is. HTTPS, no, HTTP slash, I will write localhost, not amazon.com, facebook.com, postman.com. No, localhost means server is running in my local, in my own system. At what port number? You can check the message which you have displayed over here. Server is running at what port number? 3000, right? So I am telling send the request to the server which is running on port number 3000. What is the path? Path is slash hello slash. Now server is sitting on port number 3000. As soon as it will listen the request, it will respond with the message whatever you have given over here. In the code if you check, you have given this message. Hello from Node.js. So your server will return hello from Node.js for that request. Okay, so let's see. So I have sent the request localhost 3000 slash hello slash. So now it's hanged actually. We are not getting the response because if you check in your code, your path is slash hello. After this one more slash you have not given. Correct? So exactly it will match for this only. So if you check in your request, in request we have written slash hello one more slash. This one more slash I will remove now. So is path matching with exactly slash hello slash? Yes. And I have told you whenever we are sending any request, by default the type of request is get unless and until we are submitting any form or we are sending the data with the request. Okay. So by default the type of this request is get only. So I will send the request. I got hello from Node.js. Okay. So now if you want to attach one more slash over here like this. This if you want to give, see, it's loading. We are not getting output. So you can mention one more slash over here like this. Okay. So now if you check the output, now if we refresh little bit for this, hello/hello, we'll hit enter. Now you can see we will be getting this particular output because URL will match here. But you might be thinking, ma'am, still it is loading, because whenever you do certain changes in your code, you have to restart the server. So now take the cursor here, Control C, break the control, clear the terminal, and again write node index.js. Some changes you made in the code, right? So all those changes will be considered when you restart the server. See, as you can see, it is not loading now. We got the output for /hello/. So this path we have to match, and later we have to check what is the type of request. Type of request is GET. So I hope I am clear with a simple client server architecture. So the server which we have created, which is running on port number 3000, that we created by writing pure Node.js code. But if we start writing the code like this, it will be little complex for us to manage the different APIs. What complexity will be there? Soon we will discuss about it. Okay. But if you don't want to write everything from the scratch, if you want some built-in packages, built-in modules to directly use in your code, if you want your coding should be as easiest as possible. So for that purpose, we have one framework called as Express.js. For example, Spring is a framework for Java. Django is a framework for Python, which makes the full stack development easy for you. So in the similar way, if you are working with the JavaScript, Express is a framework, same like your Django and your Spring, how they are the frameworks for the respective programming languages, Java and Python. For JavaScript, what is the framework? Express.js is a framework. So I don't want to write the code like this, request.method equal to get, request dot URL equal to /hello/. Okay, so if you want to write it in crisp manner, if you want some built-in methods, built-in modules, then we go with the Express. We won't create the server like this. Okay, so now I will Control A and backspace, remove all the code. Okay, you have the code in the notes, later you can go through it. And here Control C, break the control and clear the terminal. Okay. So now I need Express for my project. This node is your project which you have created. For that purpose, I need Express. So let's install the Express. npm install, just write Express. That's all. So it is installing the Express. Let's wait for it. It will take some couple of seconds. That's all. So Express got installed. I will clear the screen. That's all. So now same server we will create. Same request we will handle, but by using Express. So let's see. Just now you install the Express, correct? Now that module you have to import. How to import the modules? Correct. Require method we have to use. I will write require method. Which module you want to import? Express. One variable we have to mention here for the reference of that module. So I will declare the variable name as a Express only. Okay, like this. This is called as importing the module. On the next line. Now I want to create the server. In the pure Node.js, how we created the server? HTTP dot create a server method. But here we have to just need to write const app, any name you can mention, variable name. But usually we use the variable name as an app only. Create the instance of this Express. That's all. This is called as creation of server. Creation of server. That's all. Your server is ready. Which variable is holding, referring towards your server? App variable. That's all. 2 lines of code. Server is ready. Now next, server should listen the incoming request. For that purpose, we have to run the server. As of now, you just created the instance, the Express app, but it is not running. So how to run the server? We will write app dot means go inside it. Listen method will start your server at port number 3000. And as soon as server started, second parameter I will pass, it should send one message. What message? In console, it should print server started. Server started at port 3000. Here your server started. Okay, understood. Really my server started? Is my server ready or not? Shall we test it? Let's start our server. We should get this message. If successfully server started, we will get that message. How to run the code? Node index.js. So yeah, we got the message, means server successfully started now. Okay, Control C, break the control, clear the terminal. So now what we will do? We will create one API which will listen our incoming request. Okay. What is API? In detail, I will explain. Don't worry. API. First API. API number 1. Okay. A normal GET request we will handle. So now we will write on this server. Dot means on this server. Where this server is running? On port number 3000. If you listen get type ka request, this is a get method. If get type incoming request is coming, okay. And if the path is slash hello slash, then second parameter is handler function. As a response, you send what? Hello from Express. I will write hello from Express.js. Like this one message I will display. This is response. RES I have written. So now this second function should accept request and response as a parameters. That's all. APIs is ready now. So the meaning is if the type of request is get and if the path is slash hello slash, accept that request. First parameter will be request like this and send this response as a parameter. Okay. Response. Okay. So now I will write response.send like this. So now whenever you send any request to the server, means app, which is running on port number 3000, if you send a request, if the type of that request is get, if the path is slash hello slash, what response you will get? Hello from Express.js. Shall we test it? Let's test it. To test this API, first you have to start your server. Okay, if server is not started, how it will listen your request? So we will write it here. Node index.js server started, running on port number 3000. So it's time to test this API. We'll go to the client, means your browser. So my web client, my browser will send the request to my web server. Okay, web server is running in your same system, local host. And what is the port number where it is running? 3000. So I will tell over here to the local host, at port number 3001 server is running and path is slash hello slash handle my HTTP request. I got the response. So when we send the request, which server listened to your request? Local host, which is running on 3000 and path is matching slash hello slash. Type of this request is get type of request. What is the meaning of get type of request? Soon we'll have a discussion about it. Type of request is get type of request. Okay, so this is how your API works. Let's create one more API over here. I'll just write it here, API 2. Okay. So now I will write app dot type of request. If it is get and path is slash, then second parameter is a function which will accept request and response. Okay. Like this. You can pass any variable name, but the first one always should be request. Second one should be response. We cannot alter this. Okay. We cannot change the sequence of parameters. So here I'll just write as a response, you send what? Let's say home page. Something like this. I have sent the data. So if the path is slash and the type of request is get, what message it will send? Home page as a message it will send. Really, are we getting that message? Let's see. We'll go back to the code over here. We'll refresh. And now I'm changing the path. If the path is slash. Okay. So whenever we do the changes, what we have to do? We have to restart the server. Okay. So Control C, clear the terminal, node index.js, hit enter, server started, restarted, refresh it now, you got the home page. So if the path is a slash, now it doesn't matter whether slash is present or not. Okay. If it is slash means by default, this is the path. Okay. Then you got home. If the path is slash hello, okay. Now this last slash is not important. If you won't give also, if you give also, nothing will happen. You will get the output. If I give also one more slash, then also I will be getting the output. So that's the magic of your Express. It will make your coding easy in Node.js. Okay. So we created two API, API 1 and API 2. Okay. So now you can set the status code also. You can send the JSON data. Soon we will discuss about it. But let's understand what we have implemented just now, how this client server architecture is working. Let's have a quick discussion. Okay. So we'll go through this presentation. I already have created here. Okay. So we were having the browser, we send the request, but we were not having any server which will listen to your request. Correct, right? So we created the server like this. Okay. So we send the request to the local host 3000, path is slash hello slash. We were not having the server, then we created the server. How we created the server? First we created Node.js project. Inside that we created one file with the name index.js. So now I am sending the request over here, okay, to this server. So to create the server, first we installed the Express module, then we imported it. So how to create the server? We will create one object for the Express, and that object reference variable is app. So that app variable is holding your Express application entire, okay. So now I am telling app server, app is your server now. To this server, if someone will send the request, it will listen now. And at what port number server is running? 3000. Okay. So now by default, whenever we are sending the request, HTTP request, what is the type? Get. But do we have any API which will handle, which will listen that HTTP request? Which will check you whether your path is slash hello slash or not. If it is slash hello slash, what to do? So API means application programming interface. So if you want your server and your client, they both should able to communicate with each other, you need API. So we created our first API. Okay. So now to create the API, we have to use one of the method, HTTP method here. First is get method, because the type of request is get. Okay, so get method we have to use. Get method accepts two parameter. One is path, second is handler function. Okay, so we gave the path like this slash hello slash, and our handler function we gave like this. Handler function accepts two parameter. One is request, second is response. So do remember, get is showing the type of request get. First parameter of the get method will be path. Second parameter will be handler function. Means if the path is slash hello slash, if the type of request is get, what should I do? That will be decided by this handler function. Do remember this, okay? So we will write it here. If the type of request is get, if the path is slash hello, one more slash, if it is not there, then also it's totally fine. Slash, then you execute this function. It will execute the function and you will get one HTTP response, hello from Express. So now you send the request, successfully you got the response without any error. So the status code will be 200. Status code is a 3-digit number which will tell what happened with your request. We are the client, correct? We sent one request. What happened with my request? So if you get in return status code 200, means you send the request and successfully without any issue you got the response. 200 means okay. Status code 200 means okay. Status code means a 3-digit number which will tell you what happened with your request. Okay. If status code is 400, in return if you are getting 400, if you are getting 404, if in return if you are getting 500, that means internal server error. So each this 3-digit number, they have their own meanings. We will explore these 3-digit numbers, more 3-digit numbers in the upcoming classes. Okay. So now 200 means everything is okay. Okay. So now let's create one more our HTTP request, one more API we will create to handle this particular request. I'm sending the GET request. We created the API. Slash is matching here. Type of request is GET. Path is slash. So this function will be executed. The response will be returned to you. Status code will be exactly 200. Okay, like this. So now I hope I'm clear with the flow, how the code is getting executed. In this case, this is your GET API because it is handling GET type of request. This is again your GET API and these two are your endpoints. See, slash hello slash and the next one is slash. These two are your endpoints. We call it as an endpoint. See, first endpoint is slash hello slash. Second endpoint is slash. So whatever the paths you have, slash product slash next endpoint. Okay. So yeah, so to test this endpoints, if I enter slash hello slash, proper response I'm getting or not, proper status code I'm getting or not in return. So to test this APIs, we have something called as Postman tool. Instead of using browser, we will be using Postman tool to test our APIs. Okay, why we use Postman? Why not? We will continue with the browser only to send the request. Soon we will discuss about it. See how you are sending the request from browser like this. We'll send the request from Postman. And we will test our APIs, whether endpoints are working proper or not, whether these APIs are working proper or not, status code we are getting properly in return 200 or not, that we will check. Okay, so shall we start using Postman? Let's start. If you have already created the account, so open the Postman. I'll search over here. Okay, and I'll click on open. Let's open the Postman. Yeah, it might take some couple of seconds. That's all. So I have opened the Postman. Is my server running? Yes, my server is already running. I'll click on allow. That's all. Okay, that's all. So now if I go to my VS Code, can you see my server is already running, guys? Okay, I haven't stopped my server. Server should be running when you are sending the request. You are sending the request and server is only not running. Then who will listen to your request? Common sense, guys. Okay, server must be running when we are sending the request. So from here, we can select the type of request. See, here you have the plus icon. Okay, first time if you are using the Postman, just click on this plus icon. You will get the URL like this. Okay. Now here we have to start sending the request. So now first I will select the type of request is GET. Okay. What is the URL? Localhost. Port number is 3000. Path is slash hello slash. And we are going to send the request. Okay. What is the status code? Can you see here? Request successful. The server has responded as required. Status code 200 means everything is okay. And as a response, what we got? Hello from Express. Okay, my endpoint is working. Now second endpoint is slash. Let's see whether it is working or not. Yeah, this one is also working. So Postman is a tool to test your APIs. API means application programming interface. If you want to create a communication between two softwares, in this case, web client, our browser, and web server created by Express application. If you want them to communicate with each other, one software is sending the request, second is listening to it and sending back the response. If you want to build that communication, you have to build the API, application programming interface. If API is only not there, how you will handle these endpoints? Not possible, right? How you will handle this type of request? Not possible. So I hope I'm clear with what is Postman, how we can test the APIs, and we created two basic APIs. Okay. So now next. Now if I do some little bit of change in my code, let's say hello from Express and this exclamatory mark dots I will remove. Okay. Now I want to test whatever the changes I made, whether it is working well or not. Again, I have to restart my server. So if I do small change also, if I want to test that change, should I restart the server again and again and again? So this is not convenient for me. It will take a lot of my development time. So for that purpose, Control C, break the server. We have something called as node monitor. For example, first we will install that node monitor. We will write npm install -g nodemon, node monitor, nodemon. Install it first. Yeah, it is installing. Yeah, done. I'll clear the terminal. So now if you go to the package.json, what in all the softwares you have installed, it will come under this dependencies. So your Express package is present here. Nodemon is also present. Okay, globally we have installed it. Now close this. Okay, go to the package.json one more time. So now we have two scripts actually. One is npm start and another is npm run dev. Okay, to start the projects. What is the meaning of this? I'll tell you. Wait. First, I will enter in this, okay, in double quote, start. And then I will write node index.js, comma. I will write one more script dev and I'm going to write it here, nodemon index.js. Now, what is the meaning? I'll tell you. Just make the changes like this, okay? So now in the terminal, if you write, carefully observe, if you write npm start, don't hit enter. If you write npm start, which command actually will be executed? Node index.js will be executed internally. That script will be executed. In the similar way, if you write npm run dev, like this, if you write, it will execute nodemon index.js. Okay, are you understanding? These two scripts we have created. We no need to mention this file name, guys. You just write npm run dev to start the project. Automatically, it will execute nodemon index.js. Now, the question is, what is nodemon? Now, see the magic of Nodemon. I will write npm run dev. Means at backend, which command is getting executed? It is executing actually nodemon index.js. So instead of mentioning the file name, we will just write, I don't care about what is my file name. I will write npm run dev. So automatically it will mention the file name here and it will execute it. Okay. Now let's start the server. So you will get the message like this. See, server started. So now if I do little bit of change also, exclamatory mark, Control S, as soon as you type, see, it is restarting the server automatically. So now we no need to worry about whether server we restarted or not required. As soon as we do the changes, it will restart the server. So you just drag it and drop it over here. Okay, that's all. Okay, so now next. Now next, I want to set the status code also for this paths. Okay, now what I'll do, if user will enter /hello/ as a response, instead of sending only this message, I will write it here. Response dot status code should be, let's say, 200. And as a response, it should send the JSON data like this, key value pair. In that, for message key, send one message. For example, let's say, hello from ExpressJS. This is the message. And what is the status? Okay, status, I will set it as a success. Like this, something like this. Okay. So now status code 200 you will get, this message you will get, and the success code also. Sorry, success message also you will get it. Let's test it. If the path is /hello/, if the type of request is get, we'll send the request. Can you see we got the proper message, we got the status code also, and the success message as well. I hope I am clear with this API. We can send the JSON data. Okay, go through this syntax properly. So as of now, we have handled only get type K request. We have a post also, we have a put also, we have a delete as well. So we need to understand what is the meaning of get request, what is the meaning of post, put, and delete request. Okay. So first you go through these APIs, make sure you are getting the proper output. Okay. Then we will move towards the type of request.